what really keeps me grounded, I think, is being social with people, the connection with people. I feel like we're so cut off with so many things, so many people. I feel like almost to the point with countries. So as I've been traveling, I've heard how hard it is for people to get working visas, things like that. For the United States alone, it's like each country is so territorial. We want to cut each other off from other people, or from other countries, other cultures, things like that. We want only our culture to be what we see, almost like a form of propaganda, but not to that extreme level. And I feel like we're losing connection with people, whether it's through like social media, being on our phones all the time, things like that. Don't get me wrong, it helps, but I feel like we're so getting it electronically advanced. That's what we're relying on. We're forgetting that there are people out there that we can talk to, questions. Now, if you ask any millennial, it's so hard to talk to someone. It's so hard to say hi. It's the most, for some reason, I don't know why, it's such an adrenaline rush just to go up to someone and be like, hey, what's your name? For so many people like that, and that scares me. It worries me. I think that's what really has me pushing a lot more towards this growth, is because we just don't like talking to people anymore. I
love that. I'm going to goosebumps again, because that's like me, why I'm feeling cold with this project, because I'm finding that like there is this theme for even most of the answers is connection to people, and that fits into like all of the categories of what it keeps us like passionate, inspired, creative, and grounded. It's connection with one another, and I really want to like make people conscious of that.
And it's declining so fast. It's amazing how nerve-wracking it is just to say hi to someone, just to talk to someone, to lock eyes with someone. It's like it's a fear of people. You know, people are literally scared of talking to someone else. Which back in primitive times, let's say like native times, the way to survive was through groups. And so I feel like this is why depression is starting to get out of hand. Because looking back, we were meant to be in groups. The only way to survive was with people. If you were on your own, you were scared, you're fearful, you could have died. And I feel like that's something that's kicking in our primitive state. But we, of course, we're not living like that, so we don't think of it in that way, in that way. But it's starting to lag. That's why people feel so alone now. Is because we're not meant to be. We need our own personal space. We need that. But we're not meant to be that. We're meant to socialize. We're meant to talk to people, and we're cutting each other off so drastically fast that it's causing this form of depression. If that's even a real thing, but it's causing something that's making us feel really sad, really out of the loop of things, and that's why I feel like it's me coming out and talking to people, meeting people. Even though we're just passing or just being friends for like 2 days to a couple hours. That's what people need, and we forget about that. We need other people to talk to, and we're so scared to do that. We feel like we're trapped, and so which causes depression, sadness, things like that. We feel like we have no outlook of things, or not outlook. What would be that word? Escape of being alone. We feel like we're trapped in that, and that's only because we feel like we have to reach this quota or this and that to be as cool as these people, and it's ridiculous. But I feel like we're just all cutting each other off, whether it's by state or other countries, provinces, by city. It's almost hard to experience other people's stories. It's almost impossible. So, and I feel like that's so sad. That's the worst thing for me. That's what pushes me, because I don't want to be scared to talk to people. I want to be able to hear people's stories and see what made them the person that they are today. But we don't like asking that question. We don't like asking, how are you feeling today? Or it's all about me. When it is about you, but it's,
And I think it comes from the thing as well, is that we are all struggling to an extent. So I think some people don't even want to ask that because they don't want to trigger it in themselves, or they're kind of like, I can't look after myself, let alone you. That's kind of like the attitude that we end up adopting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's such a sad thing to be scared to express yourself. Because we've come to that idea of being so judgmental to other things, because like for instance, like I like to use the idea of commercials. Commercials are always about, you can look this beautiful or this good, this handsome if you can buy this collared shirt or this form of clothing. But if commercials would go and say, you're great. You're amazing how you are. You look fantastic. You don't need to buy anything. This is who you are, and that's how you need to be. If commercials were like that, do you think we'd have all this segregate, or like being separated, or feeling nervous to talk to someone like that because we feel like we can't reach their level? And that's what I feel like. It's starting to get cut off. We're starting to get we're starting to be. We're getting scared to express ourselves because we're not up here, where the quota of, I got money, I have this and that, I can buy this car, I can drive this, and I feel like that's what's breaking us down. That's why I say it's almost a talk of propaganda in a way, but not to that extreme, because we're getting fed, we're brought up and getting fed all this stuff, and it's separating us all.
Yeah.
And so I feel like connection is the biggest thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.